Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 5 math. You can find all the lessons on a+students.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. There you can find a list of, we're going to start with grade 4 math. We're going to start with the chapter time. The lessons we're going to cover today are convert time units, add and subtract makes time units, time zones and time patterns. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Okay, and I'm on grade 5 math. Let's just start with the lesson that hours in 9 days. So in one day, there are 24 hours, right? You need to calculate how many hours in 9 days. So you have to do 24 times 9. 24 times 9 is 216. 9 times 24 is 216. So that means there are 216 hours in 9 days. Let's just start with the test questions. 5 weeks, 5 days. We have to convert them into days. So 5 weeks, 5 days. In one week, we have 7 days, right? So 5 times 7 is 35 days, and we already have 5 days. So 35 plus 5 makes 40 days. The correct option is 40 days. Option number 2 is the correct option. Option number 2 is the correct option, that is 40 days. 489 minutes. We need to divide it by the 60. 8 times 6 is 48. So 8 hours and 9 minutes. That is 8 hours, 9 minutes. 2 years, 7 months. We have to convert it into months. So 2 year means that is 2 times 12 equals 24. That is 31 months. 24 months plus 7 months equal 31 months. Option number 2 is the correct option. How many days in a are in a normal year, not a leap year? So which is the correct option? That is 365 days. Option number 1 is the correct option. 214 hours. - 24 hours we need to convert into days. So we need to divide it by 24. 24 divided by 214. Because in one day we have 24 hours. So that is 8 days, 22 hours. Option number 2 is the correct option. How many hours are in 8 days? So in one day we have 24 hours. So just do 24 times 8. That is 192. That is 192 hours. I haven't write my name wrong. I am Maria. I forgot to change the name actually. Kira is doing the language sessions. Years in a century. So in a century, there are 100 years. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is add and subtract mixed time units. 1 week, 1 day plus 2 weeks, 4 days. So add weeks to weeks and days to days. We always add the same units, right? So 1 week plus 2 week equals 3 weeks, and 4 plus 1 is 5. 3 week, 5 days. Let's just start with the test questions. 4 hours 22 minutes plus 4 hours 25 minutes. Which is the correct option? It's 2 hours and minutes to minute. 4 plus 4 is 8 hours. That is 8 hours 47 minutes. Option number 2 is the correct option. 8 hours 47 minutes. 34 seconds minus 4 seconds. 34 minus 4 is 30 seconds. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 30 seconds. It's 2 months plus 2 years. That is 4 years, 2 months. Option number 1 is the correct option. 5 weeks, 3 days minus 3 weeks, 3 days. That is just 2 weeks. Option number one is the correct option. Okay, then 3 days, 8 hours plus 4 days, 12 hours, which is the correct option. Three days, 8 hours plus 4 days, 12 hours. So that is 7 days. That is 7 days, 20 hours. Option number two is the correct option. Subtract 5 hours, 32 minutes minus 2 hours, 20 minutes. So which is the correct option? That is 3 hours, 20 minutes. Option number one is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. That is time zones. If this is 2 a.m. in the central time zone, what time is it in the mountain zone? So the mountain zone is 1 hour behind the central zone. Right here is the zone. The Pacific zone, the mountain, the central, and the eastern zone, right? So mountain zone is 1 hour behind the central zone. So if there is 2 a.m. in the central zone, the mountain zone has 1 a.m. Let's just start with the test questions. If there is 7 p.m. in the central zone, what time is it in the mountain zone? So here is central zone and here is mountain zone. Mountain zone is 1 hour behind the central zone. That is 6 p.m. Option number two is the correct option. If it is 11 a.m. in the eastern zone, what time is it in the central zone? Here is eastern zone and here is central. Central zone is 1 hour behind the eastern zone. That is 10 a.m. Option number one is the correct option. That is 10 a.m. If it is 4 p.m. in the Pacific time zone, what time is it in the Eastern time zone? Pacific zone, it is 4 p.m. Eastern zone is 3 hours ahead. So 4, 5, 6, 7, that is 7 p.m. Option number two is the correct option. That is 7 p.m. If it is 3 a.m. in the mountain zone, what time is it in the Eastern time zone? So which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? That is 5 a.m. Option number one is the correct option. Here is the eastern zone, right? And here is the mountain zone. The eastern zone is 2 hours ahead than mountain. So 3 plus 2 is 5. That is 5 a.m. That is forward. If it is at 10 p.m. in the central time zone, what is that? What time is it in the Pacific time zone? So it's 10 p.m. in central, right? Pacific is 2 hours behind the central. That is 2 hours behind, so then that is 8 p.m. Basically, starting from Pacific and going to Eastern, they are increasing one time, like from Pacific, mountain is 1 hour ahead than Pacific, then Central is 1 hour ahead than mountain, and Eastern is 1 hour ahead than Central. So if you are at if that you need to convert the time from Pacific to Eastern, so you need to add 1 to 3 hours like this. And if you go out in the opposite direction, you have to subtract. If like just look at the one. If this is 5 a.m. in the mountain time zone, sorry, if there is 5 a.m. in the Pacific time zone, what time is it in the mountain time zone? So going from Pacific to mountain, you need to add one. So then that would be 6 a.m. It's 5 a.m. in the Pacific So that is 6. If it is 2 a.m., the central time zone, in the central time zone, what time is it in the mountain time zone? So 2 a.m. in the central time zone, right? You need to go what to mountain time zone. So go 1 hour behind. So then that would be 1 a.m. Option number one is the correct option. It is 7 a.m. in the central time zone. What time is it in the eastern time zone? So in the central time zone, that is 7 a.m. So eastern is 1 hour ahead. That is 8 a.m. Option number one is the correct option. If it is 2 p.m. in the eastern time zone, what time is it in the mountain time zone? PM in Eastern, we have to go to mountain zone. So Eastern to mountain, we need to subtract 2. So that would be 12 PM. Option number one is the correct option. That is 12 PM. If it is 1 a.m. in the Pacific time zone, what time is it in the Eastern time zone? So which is the correct option? In the Pacific, it's 1. So you have to go to Eastern. So you need to add 3. 1 plus 3 makes 4 a.m. The correct option is 4. We are done with the lesson. So we were working on grade 5 math. The chapter we were working on is time. The lessons we have covered today are convert time units, add and subtract makes time units, time zones, and time patterns. So please make sure before the next session, we can complete all the practice questions for the lesson we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please write down the questions. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions. No questions?